Hello guys, if you like my awesome gaming videos, my programming and web development courses, my editing courses and editing videos, and my tech talks and tech guidance, then you can consider subscribing to my channel and click on this bell icon to stay. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So I hope you are ready to do our second part, which is actually adding some data from our application, which is actually the React applications. So before that, make sure you have the XAMPP setup. As you can see, we have just started our XAMPP server so that we can work with our backend and our frontend as well. So here one more mistake in the project actions. I already have added export constant get project list. Okay, get list of project. So you don't need to export it by default. Okay, we have multiple action. For adding we need to create one more action, and for updating we need to create multiple. So there should be multiple actions here. So here first what we need to do here, just go to our application. As you can see, this part, when we want to add some data, we need to add our routing system. First we have to add our routing system. So for that we have to add our React Router DOM. If I go to package.json, here we have our React Router DOM version 6. As you can see, this is the latest version that we're going to work on, and this is very simple, very easy. So how you can set up it? So first we need to go to app.js here. This is our root application app.js, and here you need to just add something, which is from React Router DOM import, just write it React Router DOM. Okay, from React Router DOM you need to import browser router. As you can see, browser router, you need to import routes. So before, this is the new change, the actual change. Before that we used to have our switch cases. Okay, now the switch case is not there. We have our routes, and within the routes we will have all of our route path. Okay, then we need to use our route. This is our actual route. Okay, so these are the three things that we need: browser router, routes, and route. At this div, I just remove everything. Inside this div, I'm gonna use this browser router, and within this browser router I'm gonna just use our routes. Here I'm gonna use our routes, and within these routes we need to wrap everything. Okay, within these routes we're gonna use our route. Okay, you can use this thing, and here you need to just write your path, which path you want to go. So our first is, if I want to go to our root page, you need to just go to our /localhost 3000. This is our root path. Here you need to use element. Okay, as you can see, you don't find component here. You don't have any component, but in the version 5 we have this. Now we have our element. So this is very important, and within this curly brace you need to add this as a element, which is project list. This is actually a component. As you can see, this is actually a component that is coming from component project list. Okay, so this is very important, but previously it was not like this. It was like component. Suppose component is just give the component name like project list. It was like that. But now to add those just angle bracket as well, to see as it is an element. Okay, it is just normal JSX element, not normal component. It is an element. This is the new change, and we are wrapping everything with inside these routes. So before we used our switches. This is the thing we need to use in the previous version, but here we use routes. Okay, so this is the actual change, and we don't need to use exact path. It automatically handles everything. So let's copy this thing and let's paste it out. And here in the path I need to add underscore project or add dash project. If you go to this route, you go to add path project, where you will add all of your data from the form, like its thumbnail. You will upload images, title, description, demo, all of those stuffs. Okay, if you go to this path. So here you need to add one more element, and this element we need to create here. And for that you need to go to components. In the components you need to add a new component called add project.jsx. Okay, here I need to use a functional component, and in the functional component here you need to add our UI. Okay, here I need to add our UI. So make sure it is working perfectly. Okay, so let's check it out, and I need to give it within h2 tag, and within the h2 tag I need to put that so it looks better. Okay, add project info, and now I need to just set up it here in the element. I need to just pass it called add project. So this is a normal element here. Now as you can see, if I just redirect it, it is going to the add project, And if I go to app.js, if I go to project list, as you can see, we go to all the project list where we see all the information. So it is working perfectly. Let's check our application. As you can see, there is some problem with export default. We need to check it out, change it within this curly braces, and let me cut the thing and put it here. So I hope now it will work. Okay, it is working perfectly. So make sure if you we just change in the actions, we just use export default, but we didn't need that. We just export it here as an object. So you need to just use here in the app.js. If I go to the project list, here we need to pass this actions from the project actions as an object. Okay, this is an object type of thing within the second curly braces. So there is some simple bug issues that you may face. So if I go to the add project component, what we need first, so we set up our routing system, then we need to get user data and hold it on our main state. So this is the very important thing, and here we need to hold our data, hold state data given by user. Okay, so we need to hold some state. So const first one is thumbnail and set thumbnail. This is for getting the thumbnail from the user, what user selected in the UI. And we need to call use state, and we need to use the thing null. Okay, make sure it is null at this moment. And then we need to use const title and set title and use state and make sure it's empty at this moment. Now we can copy this same thing again and again. This is for the category, and this is for the set category. This is for description, and this is for set description. And then we have the demo link, and then we need to have set demo. And make sure the use state is holding nothing here firstly. Okay, and for the thumbnail I just use null because when the user is not selecting anything, this is default set to null. Okay, so we have thumbnail, set thumbnail, title, category, description, demo, all of the things that we have in the backend. We need to send all of this information in the database later using the API call in the project actions that we did. All the API calls sending all of this data information to the database to the API is be handled in the project actions, and this would be handled by the reducer as well. Okay, so later we need to add this stuff. Now basically we need to use our UI. So for UI I have to go to our React bootstrap here, get started, and here you can use our forms component. In the forms component we have email, password, all of those stuffs that you can use. So from here, as you can see from the form control in the React bootstrap, as you can see we have the email field and text area field. You can copy this stuff. Suppose I need to just copy the whole form here and just put it inside here. Okay, and just align it properly and make sure you import it. Import from React bootstrap. We need to import form from React bootstrap. Okay, make sure you import that thing. And first one is for our title, and then we have our text area. Okay, so just remove this thing, we don't need that. We can use placeholder for title, and we don't need that control ID. Okay, we don't need that. Suppose I want to get this data, suppose the title from the user, what user typed. Okay, and let me see if it is working properly. We need to go to our add project component. And how can we go there? We can go to this component using the add project. This is the root path that we need to go in our application and paste it here. So localhost 3000/add project. You see, this is the thing. So it looks ugly, but soon it will look much better. And the first one is for getting all the project, and then the path to go to another page. This is another page. As you can see, this is why the routing is very important. So what we have to do, we have to get the user data from the form and hold it on our state. Okay, so this is our main step. what user type we need to collect it. What the user type here, if I go to add project, what user type we need to collect it. From the title we can collect title, we have for the demo link, we have for the text area, we have the image selection, we have the category. We can select all of those things and pass it as an object in the parameter. Okay, so this is the main goal we have to do. Required field, if it is required you can use a required field because title is actually required fields. And here you can use on change. So as you can see, there are lots of properties you can use on change and on can play, on click, what you want to do. So on change, what we have to do is just call a function and it should be set title. So set title actually setting some information into this state. Okay, so set title is setting the state. What we are writing inside this component, what we are writing in this title form is it is collecting from the user and setting it to this state. And now we can access our title. Okay, and setting the title, and what title, e dot target dot value. We are collecting the values. Okay, and setting it in the set title. Now set title holds the data that we have written here, and now we can access this title. Very simple stuff. So this is the thing that we can do. So on change you need to write this functions. Okay, so set title, just add e dot target dot value, whatever the user set to this information. So this is the same thing in every places. You need to just copy paste and everything. Even on this page, on this getting the text area information, you need to use on change. And this is the same way you can do. You can copy this stuff and paste it multiple times. Okay, and here into use set description because we are setting some description, what user type in this description, and now we can access this description. Now how we can access this, we can show the information in value. In the value we can see the description. As you can see, as a value we can see this information, title. Okay, this should be title. This is holding the title and this is holding the description. So let me check it out. As you can see, refresh it. As you can see, we can type something. Okay, and it is perfect. So those two fields are very important. Suppose if you want to upload some images, so I want to show you how can you do that for images, image upload. Okay, so for that you can see there's a lot of option for select. For the category we need to use those things. As you can see, for the category we will use this thing. Let me show you that as well. And first I want to show you how can you do this for the file upload. Okay, in the file upload, let me go there and file input. As you can see, we have the file input. In the file input we can copy one of them. Suppose this is for multiple file upload and this is for default. So let me copy this one, first one, and as you can see here, so let me start here and just arrange it properly. Okay, now this form control is type of file. We can just use some file. So if I refresh this page, as you can see, we have some file input. We can choose any file or folder you want. And let me check it out, and this should be upload thumbnail. Okay, and file type is file, and this is a required field. This is very important. And here also you can use on change, but this is little bit of different, that's why I'm showing it to you. Okay, so it should be set thumbnail, and this is actually this thing. Let me copy this stuff so that I don't get any mistake here. It should be set thumbnail is actually e dot target dot, it is not value. If you write something here, for the email, for the title, for the text area, this should be a simple value because we write something here. Okay, but for the image it is not value. This is the difference. Okay, here e dot target dot files, we can use files, first child, first element, child, lots of things. We can add multiple files. Also we can specify one more file. So if you write it like files, it is an array of files. Okay, you can put multiple data, and also in the form control you can use multiple. If you want to add multiple data, suppose you need lots of images to upload, then you can select lots of them. But here I don't need multiple image uploads, so that's why I don't need this property. I can just use e.target.files. Here I need only the 0th index, only one information. Okay, so that's why it is one. So this is the little bit of change. One is for e.target.files, then e.target. values. So for the normal text form control, you need to use target value, and for images and file upload and audio video upload, you just use these files. Okay, and here as you can see, we have our app.js and our component. Here we need to go to our add project, and here we have set up lots of things that you need. Okay, so first one is our design. Let me copy the whole design for you. If I go to the whole div and copy all of them and just copy each of them in the return. So here in the return, I'm just deleting everything and here paste it. So let me zoom it out a little bit. As you can see, there's a lot of option even for the form.select. Okay, just go to our main API. As you can see, we have a form select options. You can copy this stuff from here as well, and make sure it is selected as select category, and you can select like front-end engineering, backend, whatever you typed here, you can see this. Okay, you can write these stuffs, and in the on change as well, it should be target.value. All of the thing is set up properly for you. You don't need to do any other stuffs. So on select, you will set some options and give them some values that will be stored in the database. And also this is the important thing that you need to know. You can add multiple options here. If you want to add multiple categories like that, one more categories, you can use this thing. So I already designed it for you so that it's easy for you to work. Okay, so our button is not defined and project submit handler. So here in submit, we're not using anything. And make sure you in the form you need to use ink type multiple form data, because we use our image upload technique here as well. So that's why you need that. And here you need to add one more thing, which is on submit. On submit, what you have to do, this is project submit. So this is project submit handler. When we submit this form, this function would be triggered, and we need to create this function as well. So const project submit handler. So this is the thing, project submit handler, and here we need to just pass an arrow function. In the arrow function, you just create this. Suppose here I'm gonna write console.log added. Okay, project is added, suppose. And here I need to pass the E. For that we need to use e.prevent default. So when we click this submit button, when we click this submit button add project, we don't have any issues like refreshing of our application. Okay, we don't want refresh in our React application. We just created all the UI. As you can see, if I see there, the button is not defined, so we need to import our button. So it should be uppercase. Okay, I hope this will work. As you can see, our title, select categories, also selecting, description, demo link, and choose image file upload is working perfectly. And also when you submit this information, make sure this function is called. Okay, so that's why on submit we need to call a function, and make sure in the ink type we need to use multiple form data. So these are the stuff, so many people do some mistakes, so that's why I'm gonna show you this. This is very important. Okay, now we are getting all the information from the form. As you can see, is in the on select or on change, we are getting all this information and holding it into our main state. Now we need to pass this information. Now how can we pass this information? We can pass this information using the form data. We need to use a form data. Okay, so here we need to use our form data, but before that we need to go to our project reducer and create our own reducer. So just copy this thing and paste it out, and make sure it's project add project reducer. It's not project list, it is should be add project reducer. So here we don't need all of this stuff. Here it should be empty, the state should be empty, and there should be an action in the reducer, because as you know, in the reducer we need two things, one is state and one is action. So let me write action.type, and here we need to pass some constant. So if I go to our constant, let me copy everything, and this is for adding data. So we need to just write it add. Okay, just select everything using the alter and mouse left button, click and just write it, add project request. Okay, so this is very important. So instead of getting all this information, we are adding this information, add project request, add project success, and add project fail. So one more steps is needed. Here we need to use expo const. You can copy all the stuffs, add project request reset. we have to reset those things. This is very important, reset. Okay, and make sure I just write it the same thing as here. Okay, so add project reset. When you just uploaded all the information to the database or API, it should reset. Okay, reset your application. Add project request reset. So let me go to our project reducer. So these are the main actions. Now I need to go to a reducer, and in the action type I have to use add project request, and then if it is a request and then loading is true, success is false, and there is no, we don't need that. Okay, and if it is successful, we need to add project request success, then the success is equals to true, loading is equals to false, and the projects is equals to action dot payload. What we have here in the API, we need to just pass all of those things. Here I can call it normal project because this is not getting a list of projects, it is just one object that we are getting from the API. Okay, so we don't need this multiple projects, we just need only one object that is coming from our action dot payload. And when you're gonna create this project action, you're gonna understand it more better, but just understand this. Okay. And one more thing, we need to use our spread operator on state. Okay, so spread operator on state and getting all those information. So why we need the spread operator on state? Because we are adding one more information to our API, so we need to hold it and hold the new information that we just uploaded. Well, okay, so basically what it does, if I go to React application, as you can see, whatever information I put here and whatever we see here, okay, we have to add one more instance here, there will be created one more card. So we need to make sure the previous object is also there and also the current thing that we are passing. So that's why the state should be in object array operator. So that's why we need to use 3 dot so that we can hold the current and the new state. And that's why in the if the add project is failed, suppose here add project request failed, so add project request failed, the success is equals to false and loading is equals to false, and then we have an error which we would be getting from the action.payload. Okay, and then one more final case here, we can copy this stuff and paste it here, and this would return empty. Okay, this should be reset. Reset means we are resetting this state, so there should be nothing. Okay, nothing here. So we have created our reducer, we need to store it into our store.js, and here I need to assign it. And as you can see in the steps, as you can see, we need to follow create a reducer action and assign it to the store. So we created our reducer. Here I need to call it add project. We create add project, and here to pass add project reducer, and this is the same reducer that we have created here. So we just assigned our main reducer, which is add project reducer, into our main reducer, and now we need to work with our actions. So in the actions, I can copy the whole thing here. You can go and this for the add project. Okay, this is an add project action. So this would be stored, this would be used in our add project component here. Here we have to dispatch it or use it. So for that we have to get the data from our UI. So from the, if I go to add project UI component, this is our main component where we get all the data from our user, and we need to pass all of those things. So we are getting this information and we need to pass those information using the form data as an object. Okay, so in the project actions, in the add project, we need to pass some data, so that's why it takes some parameter. Then the previous function get list of project, it doesn't need any parameter, but here we have to add some project data, project data. Okay, make sure this is an asynchronous function as well. In the dispatch we need to use request. Okay, add project request, and then we have to use our axios.post, and make sure you just copy the URL and just write await axios.post request, because we are posting some data to this URL, we are posting some information. Then we get the data that is coming from our API and hold it into our payload that would be getting all the information. And when this gets some data, it should be request success. Okay, when this is success, when the dispatch is giving us some success, then it holds some data. Has some error, this should be add project request fail, then you will have some error and it should be stored inside the action payload. Okay, and this is the thing that we're going to hold inside our reducer. As you can see, we're holding inside there. So all of the stuff is done properly, almost everything is working perfectly without any issues. Now one more thing, we need to pass some data here, which I forgot, but this is very important. In the axios.post into this API, we need to pass some data. So this is the data, okay, that we will pass, and this information would be used inside our add project. So in the add project, we have to use all of this information. So how can we go do that? And this should be by the user, and we need to use our dispatch here. So this is const dispatch is equals to use dispatch, and this is coming from the Redux. Dispatch is coming from the React Redux, and now we can use this stuff to pass some information and use this function called add project. Okay, and let me go to our add project component, and we need to use one more thing, which is const navigate and use navigate. This is the component that we have to use for the React Router DOM to navigate from one page to another page after certain thing is done. So when we click on this button add project, it should go to the root page. Okay, so that's why we need this information. Form data, we need to get the data. So this is our main steps. Okay, so main step is const form data is equals to new form data. It should be uppercase form data. Okay, so in the form data, it takes some parameter form data dot append. You can append some information, you can get some information by name and value. It takes two parameter, name string and its value. You can delete it, you can do for loop. Okay, you can do lots of stuff, but first we need to add some data, and add data takes two information. First thing is string, so thumbnail, this is for the images, and here we need to store our thumbnail, and this thumbnail is actually this thumbnail. Okay, because when you select some thumbnail, as you can see for our images, let me go there. As you can see, we selected e.target.files from our application, from our React application, and we set it inside the set thumbnail. Now the thumbnail is holding our image data. Okay, and this is the thing that we need to append. So we need to append all of the things. So our title, image, all of those things. Here we need to pass our title, and we also have this information in our state. As you can see, this state now holds all this information given by the user. This is for the category, and you can select copy this thing and paste it here, and then we have our description and our demo, and just pass demo, paste it. Simple. Now this is the information that we need to pass, or you can use JSON dot stringify. You can stringify this form data. Okay, it is better to use stringify because it will convert everything into the string, and then you can pass it. Let me check if it is working or not. I'm not sure, I'm just using for this project. Let me check if it is working or not. And here we need to dispatch some event. Here we have to dispatch something. So here which thing we need to dispatch, which action is this action, add project. Okay, so if I go to this one, we need to dispatch add project. Make sure this is an action. This and our add project is our main component, and here we need to use this dispatch add project. And add project action takes some parameter called project data. If I go to the add project, this is our project actions. Here it takes some parameter, and here if I go to this component, now in the dispatch we need to pass this form data. So this should be const form data. It will now hold this form data. This is the new form data, new underscore form data. So just pass this thing. Okay, this data. So what will happen now, we dispatch some actions from our UI, and in the add project action we passed our UI data that we collected here in the form, and we just passed it when we click on the submit button. So I think this should work now, because in the project action I already created the request to the axios.post. It should work perfectly without any issues. Let me check. And what will happen after this is done, it should clear all of the data, clear all of those data, const clear data, clear all of this data. And I think you should copy this from here, and here you can copy this stuff. Okay, clear data and paste it. So when everything is done, you need to clear the data so that we don't need to see this information again and again here, and then dispatch this data to this API. And after it is successful, make sure you call those clear data function. Okay, clear data. This will clear all the data that we have in the state. It will remove everything. Navigate. Navigate to which page? Navigate to root page. So let's check it out. Let's comment it out and let's check if it is working with the clear data or not. Okay, and here we just use test to category web development, test description, and demo link. Give simple demo link like this one, and choose a file, and give this thing or this thing. Just as you can see, it's done properly. If I go to our previous pages, it should be there. So there is no information. Let me check what is happening here. It should work. I think I have to put async here. So what was the fix is we have to use this async on the project submit handler, because this is an asynchronous function. If I go to the project action, as you can see, this is very important. This is asynchronous. And also what we have to do in the project add project here, we can't use this json.stringify. We can't use this thing. Just remove this stuff and use the dispatch to pass all of this data into the actions, and then clear this data. And then we can also navigate. Okay, so navigate is used if in the previous we have to use history.push. Okay, now we don't need to use, we just use navigate hooks. Okay, use navigate hooks and use dispatch for our Redux dispatching some events. Okay, I hope it will work now perfectly, and let's check it out and test it. Test to web development, and this is test description, and give a demo link here. Just copy this thing and paste it, and add an image as well. Add project. As you can see, add project request success. It is success, and in the state, as you can see, we see success is equals to true as well. In the project, as you can see, this is ID number 5. We get the thumbnail that we uploaded. We have the title, category, demo, all of those things. So now we get all of this information. And here, what is the problem? What is the bug is actually that, as you can see in the Redux, first the add project request, then we get the get project request, and then we get the get project request success. So it should happen after the add project success is done. It should happen like that, but this is a bug, and we need to fix it later after this project or the whole tutorial series is done. We have to fix this thing. Okay, so sometimes this happens. If you have any solution, just give me that thing. Okay, so you just need to call it again. I don't know why this happened, but this actually happens. So let's test it again. So if I before navigating, after the navigation, we should call get list of project. We need to dispatch something which is get list of projects. So this event or this actions is coming from these actions, how we get all the information. This thing should be happened after we navigate. This thing should load this data again. Okay, so let's check it out. If it works, then it is fine. So go to our add projects component, and here we just use a demo, normal demo, and just add a simple image, add it. As you can see, it is not adding because this is a simple bug. We need to refresh that. we will check this out, how this happening. Okay, so this is done almost properly. In the next part, we're going to work with our detail, and then we're going to work with our updating some information and deleting, and then we're going to fix our bugs and add our more features and functionalities day by day into this current project. So this is a long video. I hope you understand how you need to do that. For today, I hope you understand a lot of things regarding the routing, using the form data, how can we collect some information from our form and give and pass all of the information in our project actions, and all of this data to our API finally, and that get all the informations as you can see in the root page. So in this video we understand lots of things, and I hope you understand a lot of things in the near future as well. So till then, take care, bye bye. I'll see you in the next video with more awesome and beautiful content. Okay,